Let's talk about Kaji-Dah and how advanced the Blue Beetle armor is, shall we? Firstly, there's a couple things we have to touch on, like Jaime's backstory and exactly where he actually is and what is canon to his story. Anything prior to Rebirth, which is a rehashing purely just to Jaime, just isn't canon to him anymore. Just the Jaime and specification is really important here because both Ted and Dan, the previous Blue Beetle stories and histories, are completely canon the way they were. Blue Beetle just gets rehashed. So much so that the continuity cop of DC showed up and said, "Hey, what are you, fam?" He said, "I'm both technology and magic." The continuity stuff out the way, we have to touch on something else before we can talk about Blue Beetle specifically, and that's where the Scarab came from, the Reach. The Reach's civilization, especially their military force, by Batman's own admission, is considered a Justice League level threat. A Justice League level threat that they, at this time, were not prepared for. For reference, this takes place right after Dark Crisis of Infinite Earths, where Jaime just fought back the Reach, practically solo dolo. The notion of Reach and now Jaime being a potential Justice League level threat gets further established this entire series because Batman specifically preps to find a way to neutralize these Beetles. Not only did Batman prepare contingency plans for these scarabs, they had Cyborg developed technology specifically made and catered to counter them. Keep in mind, we're talking about the same Cyborg packing mother box tech. That same beam hit Blue Beetle directly. It was completely unaffected by the negative properties made specifically to counter Beetles. In fact, came out stronger with a brand new form called the Legato armor. Despite the Reach being considered a whole Justice League level threat, Kaji-Dah is the pinnacle of their destructive power. In comparison to just how powerful Jaime truly is, Buddy came here looking for Superman because out of all the database the Reaches have, the only individuals they consider someone that could stop the Reach is Kal-El. He said, "Nah, who did that? The people who beat the first Reach? That was all Jaime." Buddy even verbatim notes that Kaji-Dah and Jaime superseded what the limitations to Kaji-Dah were even supposed to be. Let's talk about more on like what Kaji-Dah can truly do. Let's start with the technology bit first. Kaji-Dah is a supercomputer, being able to process literally the entire Reach's worth of universal history into himself within just mere moments. With this processing speed obviously implies battle implications as well. Being able to analyze any individual who's going against an excessive rate, being able to not only figure out countermeasures, but morph his body and generate them as well. Unfortunately, that aspect hasn't really been explored too much in the modern sense, but it is something we know he can do. Physical powers, there's a reason Batman consider him a Justice League level threat. Not saying that he's gonna, take out Superman or anything. Directly compared to characters like Shazam and Jessica Cruz in a feat of strength, where both Shazam and Jessica get taken out or even explicitly know that this is something beyond them. MA's max power reserves in this specific state is able to stop something they could not. Did it overwhelm him? Sure, but again, this is his early years. We're talking about the mystical side of things. It gets even wilder. Kaji-Dah shows outright superiority to someone like Dr. Fate, Naboo specifically, a Lord of Order. Later overpowers the control of a Lord of Chaos in Orion, retaking the Scarab off a literal god's body. Summarize. Lantern to Shazam family tiered physicals. Technology that can rival the Mother Box. Overall portrayal to be a Justice League level threat and proves it by beating that very Justice League level threat out of Superman and Batman's own admission. Bested both a Lord of Order and Chaos, solo dolo, and not even the true potential of the Scarab. It's noted in his most recent series. Only is his technological potential have damn near an unknown cap because he constantly evolves based off the connection he has with Kaji-Dah. Adam Zandu, the magic user when it comes to knowledge in DC, notes that Blue Beetle's magical potential also has no known cap as of right now. It has many trials ahead of him improving him in that nature too. Not many entities in DC can outright physically destroy pure nth metal with their raw strength. Blue Beetle is one of those few characters. At least when you compare him to someone like Iron Man, who's had like decades more worth of development, obviously he's gonna have more versatility in the armor sets and technologies we've seen him develop. But again, when we're talking about like what they could do, Blue Beetle can arguably match every feat Iron Man has done, just given time. Boy Jaime deserves respect. He deserves it for real.